Hey guys, today we're diving into one of the wildest developments in the No Prep Kings, NPK, world, Procharger's running nitrous in the new Speed Promotions No Rules format. If you thought last season was intense, buckle up because things are about to get absolutely insane. With no weight restrictions, no boost limits, and massive 36-inch tires, the competition is about to reach a whole new level of chaos and horsepower warfare. So, what's the deal with Prochargers adding nitrous? Well, let's break it down. Last season, the Procharger combo dominated, winning the majority of the races. Why? Because with the 34.5-inch tire and strict rules, the Procharger setups were the most consistent and manageable on tricky no-prep surfaces. But now, the game has changed completely. The screw blowers are unleashed with no limits on overdrive, meaning they can push 500 plus horsepower with ease. That's a terrifying amount of power. Meanwhile, twin-turbo cars can shed as much weight as they want, making them incredibly fast and competitive. And both combinations, twin turbos and screw blowers, are now benefiting from the larger 36-inch tire. This means more traction, more power to the ground, and ultimately, much faster cars. With so much horsepower flooding the field, Procharger racers have started getting creative to stay competitive. And that's where nitrous comes into play. Instead of sticking to raw centrifugal force, some Procharger racers are now considering running nitrous to give themselves that extra edge. But why? Well, nitrous does two major things. It adds more power and significantly cools the intake charge, making the Procharger even more efficient. Now, before you think this is some easy hack to make Procharger cars unbeatable, there's a big catch: tuning. Adding nitrous means introducing another variable into an already complex tuning process. We're talking about high-speed adjustments, fuel management, and making sure the car doesn't overpower the track too soon. But the real strategic use of nitrous in this case? Scramble mode. Imagine this: you're halfway down the track, side by side with a screw-blown monster, and you know you need just a little more power to get ahead. That's where the nitrous button comes in. A quick hit of nitrous around the 200 to 330 foot mark could be the difference between winning and losing. It's a high-stakes gamble, but in the world of no rules NPK, every little advantage counts. But nitrous isn't the only new weapon being considered. Some racers are experimenting with lockup converters, a technology that improves power transfer efficiency. Now, if you know anything about lockups, you know they're incredibly difficult to manage on a no-prep track. Even nitrous cars, which typically rely on brute force and instant torque, struggle to make lockups work consistently. But with the right setup and precise tuning, it could be another game changer. So, where does this leave the Procharger racers? Are they doomed to get left in the dust by screw blowers and turbos, or can nitrous help them hold the line? Right now, it's anyone's guess. But one thing's for sure, this season is going to be one of the wildest yet. The No Rules format is pushing innovation to the extreme, and racers are pulling out all the stops to stay competitive. With only 7 championship races, every round is going to count. Will the Procharger plus nitrous combo be the secret weapon that keeps them ahead? Or will the unleashed screw blowers and lightweight twin turbos prove too much? We're about to find out, and trust me, it's going to be must-watch racing. Now, let's take a deeper dive into what this means for the overall landscape of Speed Promotions NPK. This No Rules format isn't just shaking up the Procharger camp, it's reshaping the entire competition. In past seasons, NPK always had restrictions in place to balance power outputs between different setups. Turbo cars had weight requirements, screw blowers had overdrive limits, and Prochargers had rules to keep them in check. But now, it's a free-for-all. This means team strategies are shifting drastically. In the past, racers had a pretty clear idea of how to tune their setups for consistency over a full season. But now, with more raw horsepower available than ever before, every team is scrambling to find that perfect combination of power, weight, and grip. And if one setup proves to be way too dominant, will Speed Promotions step in to tweak the rules mid-season? Or will they truly let chaos reign? Let's talk about how this could affect racing styles. In past seasons, consistency was key. The fastest car didn't always win, but the most repeatable one did. That's why Procharger cars had such a stronghold on NPK. They were manageable on tricky surfaces and didn't require constant fine-tuning between rounds. But now, with more power in play, racers might take bigger risks. We could see more unpredictable races, closer finishes, and wilder comebacks. And speaking of unpredictability, let's not forget the tire factor. The 36-inch tire changes everything. Why? Because on no-prep tracks, a larger tire helps manage power delivery more effectively. This means cars can launch harder, stay hooked longer, and apply more horsepower earlier in the run. Turbo and screw-blower cars will thrive with this extra grip, meaning Prochargers will have to get even more creative to keep up. That's where the nitrous debate gets even hotter. If Procharger racers start relying on nitrous to keep pace in the second half of the track, we could see some insane side-by-side races. Imagine a Procharger car lagging behind a screw-blown beast at the 330-foot mark, then suddenly boom, hitting the nitrous, closing the gap, and pulling ahead at the stripe. That's the kind of high-stakes action fans love. But here's the big question, is nitrous really enough? Because let's be real, if screw blowers are pushing 500 plus horsepower unrestricted, and twin turbos are running as light as they want, Procharger racers might need more than just a nitrous shot to stay competitive. Some might experiment with different gear ratios, while others could push their engines to the absolute limit to extract every last bit of power. And let's not forget about driver skill. With all this extra power on the table, it's going to take a steady hand and a sharp mind to keep these cars under control. We're talking about some of the most aggressive, unpredictable, and downright insane racing we've ever seen in NPK history. One wrong move, one mistake of nitrous, or one bad tire choice, and it could mean the difference between winning and going home early. So, who's got the upper hand? Right now, the screw blower cars look like the biggest threat. But we've seen Procharger racers adapt and innovate before, and if anyone can figure out a way to make nitrous work in their favor, it's these guys. One thing's for sure, this season is not going to be predictable. Expect upsets, surprises, and absolute chaos at every event. At the end of the day, this is what racing is all about, pushing the limits, taking risks, and finding new ways to win. Whether nitrous will be the secret weapon Prochargers need or just another piece of the puzzle in this wild, no-rules showdown, we'll have to wait and see. One thing's for certain, this is going to be one of the most exciting NPK seasons yet. So what do you guys think? Will Procharger plus nitrous be the game changer that shakes up speed promotions NPK, or is it just too little, too late? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest Street Outlaws updates. This season is going to be one for the history books, and you won't want to miss a second of it. See you at the track.